Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that when we examine the Star Wars franchise, especially the Skywalker saga, a lot of fans have many different issues, not just with The Last Jedi, but also The Rise of Skywalker when it released back in December of 2019, just last year, by Disney and Lucasfilm. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the thing about Disney Star Wars is that we do know that there really is a light at the end of the tunnel. Some of you guys out there may very well disagree with me on this, but there really seems to be a more positive side to the future of where Star Wars is going, since Kathleen Kennedy is no longer involved on a creative scale on many of the live-action TV series, the new Star Wars movies, and the animated TV shows, all but one project, which is, of course, the Leslie Headland Star Wars TV series to arrive on Disney Plus in the near future, and that's it. So, looking at everything related to Disney Star Wars, obviously Bob Iger and Bob Chaypek, they really do have a vision for what it really could be. You know, what it's really capable of. And even Bob Iger talked about this at the premiere of The Rise of Skywalker, where he actually stated that they are now just realizing exactly what they can do with Star Wars, and that they are now just pretty much realizing exactly how successful they can really make it out to be, and how expansive it can really become. Again, a lot of projects are being revived or being added to the list of the roadmap of Star Wars films and TV shows, and so that's another thing to look forward to as well. So, with that being said, obviously they do have a lot of plans here for the future of this universe and where it's all going, where of course, now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are finished with The Rise of Skywalker, they are focused on their new Star Wars universe as well as their new Star Wars trilogy of films to come in the near future. Now, it's explained that currently both Bob Iger and Bob Chaypek are developing multiple plans in order to reunite the fans around the world, to make Star Wars fans as a brand more successful or on the same levels as the MCU, where behind the scenes it's noted that many of Kathleen Kennedy's projects have been put to an end or completely altered and changed by Bob Chaypek, all but one, which is the Leslie Headland Star Wars TV series. Now, it's noted that behind the scenes, director Rian Johnson is very angry with the Star Wars fans and the Star Wars community for creating such backlash from his films such as Star Wars The Last Jedi, as it led to his new Star Wars trilogy being separated into 3 separate Star Wars films by Disney CEO Bob Chaypek in order to steer clear from Rian Johnson's work, and that Johnson is now only in the talks with reducing down to Star Wars television on Disney Plus. Now, Johnson is described to be also furious with the Star Wars community and the fans, since the backlash led to the cancellation of his planned new Star Wars universe that he was working on with Kathleen Kennedy, that was put to an end by Bob Chaypek once he came on board as the new CEO after Bob Iger stepped down. Now, the new universe was going to offer a brand new galaxy for Star Wars fans, and even an alternate universe of the known Star Wars galaxy for the franchise to grow into something new and unique for the Star Wars fans. However, Chaypek was against this idea and knew about the backlash from the fans, and so he put an end to it and canceled these plans by Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy. Now, Rian is said to blame the fans for causing his universe and trilogy to become shattered into pieces, and that he sees the fans as toxic to the Star Wars franchise, and that it cannot grow properly with Disney canceling plans like his that he was working on with Kathleen Kennedy. Rian Johnson is described to be in the talks with Leslie Headland for her all-female-led Star Wars TV series to become a director for a handful of episodes, that he will begin filming, of course, that they will begin filming sometime in 2021, and that Johnson is 100% on board with Leslie picking him as a director. However, they are working at his schedule since he will be busy with his Knives Out sequel, and that he is actually currently being developed, that Rian is actually even starting his own Knives Out universe that he wants to develop to compete with the Conjuring universe. So I don't know if you guys knew this about Rian Johnson, but he is developing his own Knives Out universe in order to really make something of himself. So we've got the Conjuring universe, a very popular one right next to the MCU, and it's currently growing every single year. It's actually quite engaging. I really do suggest that you guys go ahead and check out the Conjuring universe if you guys like horror as much as I do. So, looking at Rian Johnson here, he's focused on his Knives Out sequel, and is even coming up with ideas for a Knives Out 3, and so on and so forth. And so they're working around the idea of him coming on board as a director for the Leslie Headland Star Wars TV show. The thing that really bothers me, though, is how Rian Johnson sees the Star Wars community as the main cause as to why his trilogy and his new universe was essentially just pretty much thrown out into the can and just pretty much shattered into bits. Now, the thing about that is that, yes, to a degree, it was the fans' fault because, well, we didn't like what he did with The Last Jedi. In reality, it was his fault in my eyes because of what he did with The Last Jedi to begin with, and the reaction from the fans was just how it really happened naturally. It was really all Rian's fault. I mean, obviously Sam Witwer, I don't know if you guys saw him on his Twitch stream, but he was actually saying that Rian Johnson really did not do his homework with Star Wars, and that Sam Witwer actually believed that he was missing a lot of elements out on the Star Wars franchise, and that it didn't necessarily work for him as a fan. So, if you have an actor of the Star Wars universe actually saying these things about Rian Johnson, it really does pretty much, confirm the fact that Rian just did not really know, I should say, what he was doing with The Last Jedi. So, with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.